All right, y'all, welcome to the afternoon session for today. Let's see. Going to get all set up here. And I like to start these off mostly for people who watch in the future the replay, because we still have people starting to show up here. That I am not a financial expert. This is not financial advice. I'm merely here to share strategies for the predictive markets, and it's for educational, hopefully, and entertainment purposes. Do your own research. Investments carry risk. Any form of investment. All right, so here we go. We're in for another day. Just published the newest video, which is sharing my complete strategy with everybody. The one I'm using primarily and trying to stick to 100% as much as possible. And yeah, so here we are, ready to go for another day. A little late to the to where I normally start broadcasting, but yeah, doing that video, getting that video all set up is good. Now when people show up to the live, and they're new and they don't know, what's the strategy you're using, I can send them to that video, and that'll just make it a little bit easier for everybody. So happy to get that done, and we'll be looking for other videos to do going forward when subjects present themselves that seem like they'd be good to share with everybody. But yeah, so let's see where we are to start the day. I generally, I don't always get in on the first one because I'm just getting oriented to what's going on. So look at the chart here. We're pretty mid on the Bollinger Band and RSI. So that doesn't really tell us a whole lot. We're kind of moving sideways right now, chopping sideways. Not usually great conditions for this strategy, but we shall see. We like those long... one color, we like a color that's very long, a bar that's very long, a candlestick, in one direction with not a lot of thin line on it. So a real hefty, long green or red candlestick is the kind of conditions we're looking for. And we've had quite a bit of that today, so it could start coming back for us here. But yeah, I'm aware that right now the tendency is going to be to stay pretty close to the strike point. But yeah, besides that, we're all set up. And just going to wait here on the first opportunity of the day. Coriante, how you doing? I will try to remember to call you Coriante instead of Jamila. Coriante. All right. So you ready for a good day of trading? Yeah, this one, like I was just saying, I think not super ideal. If anything, I'm going to wait probably until the 5-minute mark at least to see what's going on. If we get to 880 maybe, we might think about it. But, or 40 away on either side, might consider getting in depending on how much time is left. But like I said, this is more of like a choppy sideways chart at the moment, which is not particularly ideal for this strategy. So your other account, there we go. Well, glad to have you here. Hope you have a good day of trading. If you have any questions that pop up for you, I did publish that new video that is up, the complete guide, the complete strategy for what I'm calling high probability scalping on the Kalshi 15-minute Bitcoin. Carlos Duran is back in the house. He's back at it again. Let's go. Yeah, let's have a good day today. Be real smart about the size of the bid. Don't get carried away. Just either 2.5% or 5% of your bankroll, and be patient. Wait for the market to come to you. We're saying if we get to 880, that's kind of a sign to maybe consider getting in. Basically 40 away from the strike at this moment we're looking for. But when it's this late and the odds are only 78-23, that tells you this is very questionable at this moment. So not really in a super big hurry to get involved in this market. It's kind of a little too close for my strategy. So we may start the day here with just a hard pass. But it's good to get the juices flowing, get going here. The morning was kind of rough for a bit trading. Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like there was some stretches where my strategy would have done pretty well. But yeah, I was focused on getting that video out today. Fortunately, we were able to record that during the live yesterday. That saved so much time and so much effort. I'm just so happy we did that yesterday. And yeah, I didn't have to do hardly any editing. It was the easiest editing job I ever had to do in my life. It was pretty concise and to the point, and yeah. So I guess the lives are helping with me being able to verbalize what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I think that's why there was no editing really required of that explanation, because I'm doing it quite a bit on here. But yeah, it's wonderful to have both of you with me. Thank you so much for pressing those emojis. That really helps get the live up and going, and telling YouTube that, hey, tell people about this. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all your comments. We're almost to our goal of 300 subscribers. So I'm amazed how fast we're growing here. So getting to 1,000 seems like it's just on the horizon here. So yeah, we're going to skip this one. It's basically within 10 with 2 minutes to go. This is not conditions for my strategy. So hopefully we'll start to get some movement away from the strike that gives us some cushion to work with, and then we'll get going for the day. Always kind of good to ease into it anyway. I mean, get a sense of what's going on and like what the market's been doing and where we're at. So finally looks like it's maybe going down to 880, but not really. It's just, if you look at the chart, it's kind of gone into choppy mode, real tight chop mode, and that's not really where my strategy thrives. So anyway, can't do all of them. So if you guys have any questions or you want to discuss anything to start the day, if you do have time today, go check out that new video and leave me some comments and and all that good stuff. I think it's a good video. I think it's a pretty comprehensive explanation of everything I'm doing within a 17-minute window. It's pretty good to summarize it all within 17 minutes. So pretty concise for all the information that's there, and I hope that's going to help people to kind of get up to speed a little bit faster than me explaining it over and over in the live. So I don't mind explaining it in the live. In fact, the numbers tend to go very high on the live whenever I do a review of the strategy. So I'm not I'm never hesitant to share the information in the moment, but I think it's nice for people to have that video to access whenever they need it. So thanks for the emojis. I appreciate you being here. And we're ready to get going for another day. So just for a little bit, I'm going to drink some coffee, let the music play, and just wait for a few more folks to show up. But before I get into trading this next one, I'll be back and kind of talk through my decision making before the 7:30 mark. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back and ready to go here. And by the way, Coriante, is that your name, Jamelia? I think a bunch of people who were here maybe went over and are watching the video that I just posted, so uh, they'll probably be back in about 15, 20 minutes when they're done watching that. But yeah, we're just getting started for the day. And market conditions are not ideal at the moment for my strategy. I call this the sideways chop, kind of small movements right around the strike, kind of no definitive pattern. And we want a pretty definitive pattern for a 15-minute window to get involved in something. So we'll be patient. we'll wait for it to happen, and in the meantime, we'll keep building community. So it's wonderful to have. I showed up today, and immediately Carlos and Coriante were here and hitting the emojis for me and commenting. It's a wonderful way to start the live. So I appreciate all the people that are already actively involved in this community we're building. Predictive market community, helping each other figure out strategies and best practices and stuff like that. Just how to get better at trading the predictive markets. We've got some folks in here that are trading the tennis markets on Polymarket and on Kalshi. So kind of started looking at that last night. Started considering. I haven't even seen. I put 2 wagers down on like fairly high probability situations. I haven't even seen how they played out. But I'm going to start paying attention because there's a lot of tennis matches all around the world that Kalshi and Polymarket do, especially to fill in the nighttime lull. So I may be looking at tennis and seeing if I can develop some kind of a strategy for tennis. Baseball, I just find to be very hard. I just haven't figured out anything that like I think is a solid strategy for baseball yet. And I hear a lot of sports people who do sports wagering say, you know, baseball's tough, man. A lot of games. Baseball's kind of a 50-50 sport, you know. You're really good if you win 6 out of 4 or 6 out of 10. So, you know, 60% win rate is good. So it's a tough one to get involved with. I'm sure there is a strategy that can be successful in baseball. I don't know what it is currently. I do think what we're doing here, which is buying high probability with limited time left, could be applied to baseball. Let's say it's 3-0, and it's the 7th inning, and the probability of the team with 3 runs is like 85%. That's kind of the same thing as what we're doing here. Same difference, you know. So buying toward the end, high probability of you winning, and managing that position with a take profit and a stop loss. Same thing as what we're doing. So I think the high probability scalping can be applied to any predictive market. I just like Bitcoin 15-minute because it happens 4 times an hour, and it's a pretty consistent thing that you can kind of get in the zone on and start noticing what's happening. And unfortunately, what's happening right now is super chop, not much movement, pretty not great for my strategy. So I'm going to go into trading mode here for this next 7 minutes and see if we do anything, and I'll be back as soon as this market is over.
Anyway, baby, just name the time. When I'ma come through, can you get me cruising on the moonlight? Top down, playing new sounds while the wind blows over it. Checking my maps, heading a stack, keep it intact. Do me a favor, girl. Can you keep it warm for me, keep it on for me like a shower? I need it to run for me, hold it down till I'm pulling up. I finally made it, girl. And I'm at the door, see you walking up to me, and you got something that's showing what's underneath. Still you expect me to make it do pleasantries, baby, I'm yours. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rubbing in the hallway, no use for all the rooms. So what you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. She said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. We could catch a vibe here on this trip. I'm in your soul, you're on my head. I want you at my fingertips all night, all night. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. I've been in the hallway, no use for all the roads. What you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. Well, I know how you want it to seem, but we'll watch as it all plays out. From the crest of the wave that we broke upon and pulled you back into the sea, all the way down. Why'd it take all our life to explain that it's more beautiful when you're here? I remember the light when it turned around and revealed all the truth, no escape. Point blank. Say it like it is this time for me to hear. Suddenly you felt all alone again, even in crowded rooms with all your friends.
All right, so we passed the 2 minute mark. It's still too close to call, so we're going to pass on this one as well. And that's a lot of this this strategy is, if it's too close at the end, it's just not worth it because you're getting in at a time when the price can move super fast with just a small change, and that's not conditions we want to be involved with. So part of this, well, I say it all the time. This is a patience game, waiting for the right moment to be involved, and this ain't it. But yeah, we'll take our time. We'll slowly get there, and eventually the conditions will change. That's one thing you can guarantee. Eventually, the conditions will change. But yep, just getting into the mode for the day. It's a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. Kind of warm for us. I don't know if it's 80. It might be 80 degrees today. I know everybody else is like, what? Only 80 degrees? That's not hot. But for here it is. The Pacific Ocean is like an air conditioner. If you're within like 5 miles of the Pacific Ocean, it's very hard for the temperature to get very high. like, because the Pacific Ocean is always like 50 degrees, so it's like your natural air conditioner out there cooling things down. So, but a bright sunny day. I went to Home Depot yesterday, stocked up on lumber, and I'm ready to go for another couple weeks of just work on this structure that I'm building on my off-grid property. Trying to get ready for the winter, racing against the rain to build a structure that just kind of provides me some, just keeps the rain away from me a little bit. I live in an RV. I've lived in this RV traveling the West for about 15 years now. And, yeah, it's nice. I live in a floodplain, so I'm building a structure that I'm designing to survive a flood. And all it's doing is keeping the rain away from the RV and, protecting from the wind a little bit, hopefully keeping some insects out. Mostly it's used by my cats to climb as a climbing gym, and they have a lot of fun going all over this thing. So, hello, Uber. It's hot in Long Beach. Long Beach, California, or I know there's a Long Beach up in Washington as well. Yeah, I mean, I should never complain about it being hot here because this is the place you want to be if you don't like hot in America. There's two places you can go right at this moment, the hottest part of the summer. You can go to, there's a town in Colorado that is the highest town in America, I think. And it's at like 11,000 feet. And it's only not freezing at night there for like a 2-week period in the summer. So you can go there or anywhere between, San Francisco and Vancouver on the coast in the Pacific Northwest. This is pretty much an ideal place in the summer. All right, Long Beach, California. Yeah, it looks like it's hot everywhere. Let me see what the temperature is here today. I think it's probably in the 70s or maybe 80s. And this is hot for us. It's 75 degrees, and I'm saying it's hot, but that's how it is here. Let me see what the forecast looks like. Yeah, so here's our forecast for the coming week. These are the high temperatures: 76, 68, 68, 69, 69, 70. So it's, yeah. Pretty much this time of year, you're expecting like 70 to 75. And it gets down to really cool at night, like, mid 50s. So, I don't know. I feel like this is paradise where I am. My apartment building is older than the earth. And it has no type of conditioner. Oh, dude, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, along the coast, even in the south, Southern California, it can get warm. Great place to be in the rest of the year, though. Like, especially compared to the rest of the country in the winter. Like, Long Beach is a pretty great spot to be. But it's funny how it works here. Like, if you're within 5 miles, if you're right on the coast, it's always cloudy and, like, unless it's the middle of the day and the sun is burning off the clouds, the coast is like always rainy and cloudy. And I'm just like about 4 miles inland, and it's much sunnier here, but we still get the cool temperatures. And so I think that's the zone. If you want perfect, is about 5 miles in off the coast in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, I'm old. I don't like being hot. I thought about going down to see my Detroit Tigers play the A's in Sacramento because they're coming, I think, this week, next week, or something soon. And I'd love to see them play, but I know it's going to be hot and traffic, and I'm spoiled, man. I I live in ideal conditions where I'm at. So let's see where we're at with the. Yeah, no change. It's really just stalling out. What I find to be the case is if this happens for a long time, we'll see the Bollinger Bands kind of contract, come back closer together. And then I think that's one of those moments when it really contracts and it's been stagnant for a long time that you can really see a crazy breakout in either direction. So, these markets keep you on your toes because you think it's one thing. It's like super boring. There's nothing happening. It's just slightly up, slightly down, and then all of a sudden, boom, up 400. It's like what in the world? So you gotta be. That's why I say the charts and the order book are, for my strategy, I would say moderately. Not. I don't use them to make decisions generally. I'm looking at how volatile the market is, so that might help to figure that out. But more than anything, how much time is left? How far away from the strike are we? How confident am I that it can hold out that long? Or do I at least have enough distance from the strike that I can get out if it turns bad before I lose more than half of my investment, That's how the market's been all morning. Oh, man. Brutal. What day is it? Wednesday? I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that it's this quiet at this time of the day on a weekday. But like I said, if I look back on the chart, there's some pretty good movement 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. So it's really close to being ideal because it's slow and moving away, but it's just not getting far enough away that I'm comfortable. Let's see, let me pull up the CF benchmarks number. 907. I mean, it's only 10 away with 7 minutes to go. So I'll go into trading mode. I anticipate what you'll see is me come back at 2 minutes and to go and say, nope, I don't think so. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get a little runaway and I can get in on this one. I'll be back shortly. Well, I lost my edge there. Just tried to hold on. I had my stop loss set at 890, I believe. Yeah, so I was ready. I was kind of hovering over it, willing to take the small loss, uh, but tried to hold in there at 890 line, and it did enough for me to just get out. It would have ended up being, making 50 cents or whatever, 60 cents, whatever it was, but it just wasn't. The edge had disappeared. If it would have kept going farther away, I would have been more than happy to stay in that one. But it was just hovering too close. I didn't like that one. So, all right, 23 cents. Hey, I tell you what, man. Even though I just made 10 cents there, it's like, hey, it's a win. A win is a win. I managed that one according to my strategy. Got some profit out of it, even though it wasn't ideal. So I'm happy that worked out for you, Carlos. And it sounds like you're sizing your bids correctly. So I'm happy for you for that. That's good stuff. I'm now. I was doing 5 and 10. I did the calculations. Now I can kind of go up to 6 and 12. So my numbers, it's slowly but surely. Instead of just doing 5 and 10, now I'm up to 6 and 12. So that'll allow my bankroll to grow percentage-wise proportionally as I scale up. So, for now, it's just one contract increases at a time. But I do have to say, I am so happy that finally Kalshi has fixed their system where it automatically moves you to the next market, and it does update the strike without you having to refresh. It's the small things in life that make things better, and that's a big one for me. It makes my life a lot better, a lot easier to do the live without having to refresh that thing over and over again. Win is a win. Much better than any loss. Yep. And, considering the conditions, this is at best we're trying to get small wins. It's like these are, not ideal conditions for this strategy. So, and by the way, if I start crackling or doing feedback or anything like that, let me know. There's something about this microphone that if I don't put a finger on the metal part, it'll tend to do a little bit of crackling or feedback. So sometimes I forget to put my finger on, ground the microphone. But anyway, feel free to let me know because it'll make everybody else's experience a lot better. And I can't have the headphones on because of the delay. It's rough to listen to, you talk 2 seconds behind you actually talking. So, but all right, we're off to. We've done I think three markets so far, up 10 cents. So sometimes this thing is slow if the conditions aren't right. But as you say, I sometimes think to myself, if I had $200 in my savings account, I'd be lucky to get 10 cents of interest on that in 6 months. So anyway, I always think like, hey, 10 cents, whatever, 23 cents, whatever it is like, it's good return on your investment. You know what I mean? Like it's not bad. We're looking to do just 5 to 10% growth on the portfolio a day. So those small little wins add up, and they're not losses, as you say. Part of the strategy is avoiding losses as well. So avoiding losses and then taking advantage of the situations where the odds are in our favor. Yep, a win is better than any loss. Absolutely. So yeah, slowly but surely, even in I do want to mention I brought this alternative strategy up yesterday, and we can kind of start tracking that alternative strategy and see if it would work. Um, so we can look at it right now. I usually like to start at the beginning of the market, but if conditions continue like this, where it's super slow and kind of close to the strike, and let's see the last 15 minutes. Yeah, just kind of hovering around and touching the crossing and touching the line, and when conditions are like this, you can try an alternative strategy, which is in the first, well, basically the first side to go low, and you try to hold on until it bottoms out. Don't get in until you see it kind of like you see it's kind of flattening out and about to turn back the other way. And get in there, hopefully at like less than 40 cents if you can, and then just try to do a take profit at like 50 cents, or when it gets close to the line, it'll go to 50 cents. So if you're pretty confident you're going to have some back and forth and probably touching the line at some point, or at least getting close, that's a strategy that can work really well. Now we are starting to get a little bit of movement though, so we're now up. What is that? 30. We're up 30-ish. So that's and growing a little bit more. So that's good. That means we're starting to get a little bit more movement. It's not so quiet. But anyway, you can consider that alternative strategy when it's choppy like that. Get in on the low side early, as long as it doesn't like run off like crazy in the beginning. Wait until it kind of stabilizes at a low point. Get in and just try to get 5, 10, 15 cents. Same idea. Scalp the low side. Because if it's choppy, there's a high probability that it'll move back enough to get you your 5, 10, 15 cents. But I would do that early in the session in the market, so you have time for it to make its way back. Now this one, a lot better opportunity for our strategy here. We're now 50, kind of 50 away at the moment. So that's good. We like that. Keep going. Oh, wow. Hello. Yellow. Now we're going to approach this cautiously because it just shot up like crazy. And it can bounce back when it does that. So let's see. We'll hold on to 7 minutes. Might not have a huge opportunity for, profit here, but we might have a sure thing, which is always great. Small wins are good wins. So looking good. I'm going to go into silent trading mode a little early because the price is so high right now. And I'll be back at the end of this. So yeah, unfortunately, I was hoping that one would just kind of drop a little bit on that long run, just so I could get in with a little bit more room to make some. But anyway, sometimes that happens. It just runs away. It's a sure thing, but you can't really. If I would have got in a minute earlier, that profit would have been significantly higher. But it's okay. That's that sudden change out of nowhere. It's like the market's completely asleep. There's nothing going on, and then all of a sudden it runs off 200 in one direction. And yeah, so now we're getting close to the upper Bollinger Band already. RSI is climbing, so we'll see what happens here. Hello, I am new here. I hope you're still with us. I was gone for a while here. Do you tell us when it's a good moment to go up or down? No, not really. I give you the strategy. Okay, cool. I give you the strategy for what I'm doing. You can see me doing it in real time. I try not to give people advice on when to buy and when to sell because that's giving financial advice. This is for educational purposes. So I don't really tell you what to do, but I'm giving you the strategy. I just released a video that explains it in complete detail, the complete guide. I just put that up this morning. So if you want to review that video, that will get you completely caught up to us in the moment. And then you can watch how I trade it, and then how other people in the community are doing kind of a similar thing usually, and people will talk about how it went or anything like that. So yeah, I would recommend go and watch that video. It's the most recent one I did this morning. It's about 17 minutes. Find your profile. Okay, cool. And yeah, we recorded that video in a live yesterday. It went really well. I think I was able to convey all the information in one video. So check that out. If you have any questions when you come back, just let me know, and I'm happy to answer. So yeah, we're going to hold on here for until the 7 minute and 30-second mark when I go quiet and go into trading mode. But yeah, we just had a significant move in the market, some real serious buying energy going on. So we're going to keep an eye on that. What goes up must come down usually, but let's see if we stabilize. I was hoping for a little stabilization during that last market so I could get a better price, but it just kept going up. Okay, yeah, now these are the conditions where this strategy shines. Like long movements up, long movements down. And kind of a caveat that I may start employing if it's going to stay like this is like if it gets more than 100 away, even if it's like at the 9 minute mark, I may think about starting to get in, just because it looks so strong and I have so much room to get out if I need to. So we'll see. I like to stick to that 7 minute mark as much as possible, but that last one, if I'd have gotten in at the 8 minute mark, I would have been able to get quite a bit more profit out of that last one. So, but yeah, I'm real happy to have that video done so that I can, when new folks show up, I'm able to get them kind of up to speed faster. Able to kind of help them understand everything that we're doing in one video. So, and then they don't have to wait for me to repeat it again in the live. It could be 3 hours later when I repeat the strategy. They can just replay it whenever they want. So I think that is probably my best video I've done so far, and I'm happy that is up and in the world now. So, and I did another strategy video a while back, but the strategy has changed slightly. And so I think it was good to do an update on where we're at now. All right, back to a bit more of choppy. Looks like there's a lot of buying energy in the market right now. Seems like entities that we don't know are really pushing the price up right now. If y'all don't mind giving a like to this live and tapping some emojis, that always helps to bring in some new folks who may be looking for this but haven't found it yet. Thank you so much for tapping those emojis. And let's see where we're at for subscribers. I got to go back. I keep trying to have this automated through stream elements or whatever, but I don't know. It's always doesn't work correctly. So we're at 290 still, but we're making big progress on. Hey, another PNW. Whereabouts in the PMW? I'm basically at the California-Oregon border in the Redwood Forest, Redwood National and State Park, on the coast in Northern California. Oregon, yeah. I like Oregon. I consider where I am to basically be Oregon. It's far enough away from San Francisco that it's more influenced by Oregon energy than California energy. But yeah, I lived on the Oregon coast for a couple of years. I love it. It's my favorite coastline. It's my favorite drive in America. The drive from really all the way down to LA, up the one and the 101, all the way to Vancouver. That drive is special. If you ever have a chance in your life to do it, yeah, that coast is absolutely gorgeous. I love living here. So happy to find your channel. I've been learning a lot from your tutorial videos. Awesome. I appreciate that. Glad you found us as well. We're building a community here. Very supportive people. Lots of nice folks that are really fun to hang out with. And, we're trying slowly but surely to get, that's kind of our tag phrase we've come up with, slowly but surely, wiser and wealthier. And that's trying to do some trading, not gambling. We're trying to wait for the right moment to get involved and then execute a strategy, that's appropriate for our bankroll. So we're definitely using more trading strategies than, gambling. And if you need more kind of guidance on this, at least until I get some more videos made, Ross Cameron at Warrior Trading is excellent. I really love his videos. Quick question. Do you do this for a living? If yes, what is your goal for a day? So I don't do this for a living, surprisingly, even though I do it for 6 to 8 hours a day live. My goal for the day is somewhere between 5% and 10% increase on my bankroll. I've been profitable, I think, actually maybe every day but one in the last 2 weeks. And very often it's it's usually around 10% if good conditions are in place and I can just get in and make my money and no stress. But things have been kind of challenging lately. Last 4 or 5 days has been a little bit more rough conditions for my strategy. And in those conditions, I'm trying to make 5% of the bankroll. And I am scaling my operation based on the size of my bankroll. So I'm trying to do basically a real simple, not get involved if I'm not confident. This one right here, 58, it's iffy. I'm not super excited about it. But anyway, if I'm not super confident, I don't get in. If I do get in and I'm kind of mildly confident, which would be maybe what would happen here in the next few minutes. I'll do 2.5% of my bankroll. And then if I'm really confident, I will do 10% of my bankroll. But yeah, I'm trying to stick to that as like the ceiling. And then as my portfolio grows, the number grows. Yesterday I was doing 5 and 10. And just today I did the calculations. It's like it's time to move it up to 6 and 12. So I'm doing 6 contracts when I'm mildly confident, and I'm doing 12 contracts when I'm more confident. And then on that last one where it like ran 200 away and there was only like 4 minutes left, I was willing to get in a little bit more because the probability was so high, and to make some profit I needed to get more contracts involved. But I try to avoid those because if they do turn south, it can be disastrous. So it's a very slow and steady, calculated strategy. So we're 48 away. I'm going to get in here. I normally don't talk through my trades, but I'm just doing it this time. Let's do 5. I'm not super confident about this. I always bid at 99. That's how I make sure I get placed. I have to pay Kalshi fees if I do that, but I'm going to try and wait for just a second here, see if I get a little bit. A bump down to 90 would be great. We'll do that. Oh, and then it bumped right back up. So I got 93.18. Immediately going to set take profit at 99.9. Looking really good right now on this spot. Sell. That order's on the board, and now I got to figure out what price I need to get out at if I do a stop loss. So I would be really uncomfortable if it got to 66,060. So that's my number. If I hit that number, I have to take a stop loss. Set my price to 1. That doesn't mean I'm going to sell at 1. It just means I'm going to take the best price on the board with Kalshi fees at the moment that I cash out. So I'm kind of choosing to pay the Kalshi fees to be able to execute instantaneously. And the message I'm sending to Kalshi with the 1 cent bid is I want the best price above 1 cent when I press that button. So we're looking for, if it gets to 66,060, that's the point where I press that button. If it doesn't get there and it gets to 99.9, then I don't have to do anything. It just gives me my take profit. So that's correct. Based on my bankroll right now, I'm only making right now kind of a dollar to, sometimes just 10 cents. It just depends. So yes, you are correct. As my bankroll gets bigger, those numbers get bigger, but this is sizing your bankroll. I've had AI describe this as like picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. And, you got to have a stop loss to avoid being rolled over by a steamroller that, if somebody buys 100 shares of Bitcoin right now, the price is going to shoot through the roof. So you got to always be ready to bail on it. But you are correct. I'm only making cents at this moment in my current size of my bankroll. What we would say here is those cents add up pretty fast. As far as getting back to what do I do for a living, and I'm breaking my rules because I should not be talking while I'm trading, but I'm going to go with it because this seems pretty safe. I'm a recording artist. My artist name is 7 Streams. So if you want to support my music, you can do that on any platform. I just do folky music. So yeah, I do this as a hobby, but significant hobby. I do it 6 to 8 hours of live a day, and I've increased my bankroll in the last 2 weeks. I've doubled it. I reset this account to 100, and so I've gotten up to 211 off the 100 start. And it's just, I'm live for that huge amount of time every day. So my strategy is patience, small wins, adding up. But yeah, you're right. It's going to take a whole month to make $100. No, it won't. I beg to differ, sir. I just told you I made $100 in 2 weeks, and that amount increases. It scales with my bankroll. So as over time, I'm not making 34 cents, but based on this bankroll, that's what I'm making right now, 34 cents. But I win a lot, like 90% of the time probably. And because I have a stop loss in place, my losses don't wipe me out. So in the end, I just kind of slowly but surely just keep adding money into the bankroll, And when I get to when it's 1,000, my bid size are bigger. When it's 10,000, bid sizes are bigger. But you have to size based on your portfolio, what you have in your account, what you have in your bankroll. So I'm doing my very best to show you how to make this an investing tool and not a gambling tool. But yeah, I appreciate this is not going to be for everybody. Like this system is, some people are going to look at it and laugh and say, no thanks. And that's fine. I get it. Like it's boring. It's boring as hell. But I don't know. It's not boring as hell to me because I just keep making money. So anyway. It's like, yeah, you're only making 34 cents. Yep. Come see me in a year. See where I'm at in a year. So anyway, these are just investing 101 principles, is scaling based on the size of your portfolio, taking the wins, having a take profit and a stop loss, like managing your position, managing your bankroll, all these things you can learn from me, or you can learn it from, I do really recommend those warrior trading videos with Ross Cameron. I think he's very good. He's very intelligent, very smart, knows what he's doing, makes a ton of money. But he started where I am right now, and scaled with the size of his bankroll, and kept using the same strategy, and kept growing, and then the sizes get bigger, but you can't rush to that point. If you do, you're gambling. You're pushing it too fast. You have to patiently, and the market, I don't know what it is about the universe, but like the market loves to punish you for straying from your strategy. At least that's what happens to me. Every time I stray from my strategy, I just get absolutely decimated. But let's see. When did you start to do it? About a year ago. And in that year, I've done a lot of different strategies. I've tried a bunch of different things. I've programmed trading bots and had them run and trade for me. And they executed the strategy well. I ended up finding out that the strategy did not quite work. It was not quite right. So I came back, and now I'm in manual mode. I've been testing this particular strategy solid for 2 weeks, and I have been making 10% on my bankroll, I would say 80% of the days. One day I had a slight setback, and the rest were like 5%, 4 or 5% increase. So, I mean, it's hard to beat that return on investment, but it requires time and patience and not getting involved in markets that don't fit the strategy. It also relies on you getting good at taking a good loss. If you lose 100% of your investment when you're going in at 85 cents per contract, it's hard to make a profit because you're just getting the steamrollers rolling you over. But basically, I'm getting in with high probability. If that high probability vanishes, I got to sell for a smaller loss than a full loss. And even if that side ends up winning, I can go back and say, "Oh, I should have held that." No, the edge was gone. I was done. That's how the strategy works. Got to stick to it. If you stray from that, that's where you start failing. Whatever strategy you use, you don't have to use this strategy, but whatever strategy you use, stick to it, get better at it, learn more about it. There are multiple strategies that can work, and there are different strategies that work better in different conditions. So if it's really choppy and it's going up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's kind of, it's hard to know what's going to happen, you can say to yourself, well, this is a really good time for, at the beginning of the market, buying the low side in the 40s or 30s and doing a take profit at like 45, 50, something like that. Getting your 10, your 5, 10, 15 cents that way. And my strategy works terrible when the conditions are up and down and up and down. This strategy relies on high certainty and very little time left. And even then, having a take profit and a stop loss to like manage the position. If it's right around the target line the whole time, my strategy is, not worth getting involved in. But getting in early on the low side is a decent strategy for when it's going up and down and up and down and up and down and crossing the line multiple times. So, but whatever strategy you do, stick to it. Learn how to manage learn how to manage your strategy. And, like I said, different conditions, different strategies work better. But I would say, at least that's where I'm at right now, is I'm staying with this one strategy. I tried the other strategy yesterday, and as soon as I did that, the market changed and became good for my original strategy. So it's like, I'm just at the point where I'm sticking to the strategy. That's what Ross has always told me to do anyway. You know what I mean? So very often, even as me being the guy telling you what you should do, I have to tell myself that too. Like, I have to be the listener as well. Like, because I'm saying all the things I want to make sure I'm doing. And one thing that's great about these lives is that I have a community kind of holding me accountable to staying with that strategy, which is very helpful. All right, I've been talking for quite a bit now, which is fine, but it's now time to move into trading mode. So I'm going to turn off the microphone, put the music on, and when this market is done, I'll be back. So even though I had to do a stop loss because it crossed my number, which I kept rising, one thing I do is as the number drops, I will lower or raise my stop loss number to just try to, even if it reverses, keep some profit. So it reversed past my number, and I got out as I should, and it ended up being a 10-cent loss. So I looked to get back in with my 5% amount at a higher probability, and so I ended up getting a small win even with a loss in there or a stop loss. So those are the ones that it's like I ended up at the end making my stop loss 66,010, and earlier on it was 65,990. So anyway, I was just adjusting it as it got closer to the end to protect myself, but at the same time not get out too early. Allow it to bounce a little bit and still hold the position. So that's a fine art that we're always working on and trying to get better at. But I'm happy with that trade. Didn't give me the 40 cents that I was going to originally hopefully get, but again, it's profitable. I managed my position well, and I limited risk well. So all in all, I'm happy with it. And we don't want to get in the place of second guessing the decision. It's just we set a number, and our job is to stick to that number. If it crosses that line where we felt like we were, not safe anymore, then you sell. And so if I did sell and it went the other way at that moment, I lost 10 cents instead of $5 and whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a good example, I think, of how to use a stop loss. And that once you use a stop loss doesn't mean you're done. Doesn't mean you're done with the market. It just allows you a fresh start to reevaluate where you're at. Where do you want to get in? How much time is left? How much room do you have? You just redo it again. But you take the stress away of having it move against you with some uncertainty in place. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But yeah, slowly but surely, just kind of a lot of real small wins today. But stress level is low. I'm enjoying hanging out with some new folks and talking strategy, talking Bitcoin. And one thing I really like about my strategy is now I just get to relax for 5 minutes. Because if you do this all the time and you're always in the market, it is stressful. Like you're constantly on edge, ready to make a decision in a moment. So what I do like about my strategy is that it's intense focus for like 5 minutes, and then 10-minute break, and just relax and chat with the community, relax, get ready for the next one. So another reason that this strategy is a good fit for me is I'm doing a live for 6 to 8 hours. It works in many ways for me. It fits my personality, which is mellow, being happy with small wins, and limited stress. And yeah, I do enjoy, even if it's small, if it takes, like that one guy said, well, it's going to take a month for you to make $100. It's like, well, fine. like this is a hobby for me. And by the way, $100 with a $200 bankroll is good return on your money. Like real good, real very good for a month. To make a 50% return on your investment is fantastic. So I don't know. It's just a different mindset. People come into Kalshi and all these things looking to make big money, and you can. It's possible, and I do expect to make big money. I just gonna do it the slow and steady way. Uh, Managing the bankroll. So. So the numbers have dropped off on this live, and it's looks like there's only a small group of people, but I appreciate whoever's here right now hanging out with me. Um, when the conditions are like this, it can be like, well, this strategy sucks, like. But anyway, it works, it requires patience and waiting for the right opportunity, um, and not overreaching. Not even when you got a sure thing. If you've done this long enough, this market, you've had a number of sure things that ended up losing. So we'll take. We end this one at about 4 o'clock. So we got 3 more markets to do here this afternoon. I feel less stress. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, less stressful, more positive reinforcement. You win 90% of the time. If you're doing the strategy to a T, you're going to win most of the time. And it's just kind of mellow and chill, and you watch your bankroll grow slowly but surely, and it's a good feeling. And the nice thing is you're learning to be patient. You're learning to be to take what the world gives you in a given moment and be okay with that. And that's a recipe for really good things. Uh, Learning how to be patient in this modern world, you have an advantage over 99.5% of the people, because everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's in a hurry to make mistakes. And I'm just not in a hurry to lose my money and make mistakes. And, I'm super happy to just chill out, wait for the right moment, and then jump at it. All right, let's go into trading mode. I'll be back in a little bit.
two-tone humming, headed out to the highway. I should have seen it coming through the years left in the dust. But after all the lessons learned, it would end the both of us. There's a first for everything, like a hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye. And though it hurts to watch my whole world become the woman she would be, the thing that I forgot would set her free. I taught her how to leave. In the summer, man, it feels like yesterday, when she was looking out that window on the bus to second grade. The first step she'd ever take, the first cut from a heartbreak. Been through it all, but now it's time to go our separate ways. There's a first for everything, like her hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye. And though it hurts to watch my whole world become the woman she would be, the thing that I forgot would set her free. I taught her how to leave. There's a first for everything, like her hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye. And though it hurts to watch my baby girl become the woman she would be, the thing that I forgot would set her free. I taught her how to leave.
So taking a loss always sucks, but yeah, it never got back to a place where it was worthwhile to get back in. I executed my strategy very well, and instead of a $11 loss, it's a $3.50 loss. It sucks to lose, but I consider that a very good loss and good control by not getting back in. I thought about at the end buying down when it was like at 5 cents with like a minute to go, um, because it was so close at the end that it very well could have gone the other way. But I decided not to do that. But anyway, that was a possibility I was considering on that one. But yeah, that was when it was 99.9% probability with 30 seconds to go. That still could have lost. So, yeah. I mean, even on this strategy, losses happen, but how well do you manage the loss is the key. And I'll have plenty of opportunities. The question is, do you see a pattern in the market? We watch the charts looking for patterns and looking for resistance points and stuff like that. It's pretty unpredictable. That's why, very few people can tell you what's going to happen next with surety. You try to just take a high probability position and see it through to the end. And when it loses its edge, you're out. That's it. The pattern right now would be that I'm seeing is big movement and then choppy. Choppy meaning kind of not much movement, up and down, up and down, up and down. So we just in the last two moved into what we would call a regime that's not as friendly to my strategy. I would say when you see really small candles on the chart, candles are these lines right here. They call them candles because they often have a thin wick that shows where the price once got to and now fall back down. But I really like the long, no candle, just all body candles on the chart. That means it moved in one direction and ended up finishing in that direction and never really made it back. When we get the really small candles, the worst ones are they look like a plus sign where it went up, it went down, it ended up right back where it started, and it looks like a plus sign. Those are diabolical for my strategy, and I avoid them like the plague. So today's session, this afternoon session, has been a continuation of what Carlos was saying this morning, that it's been like this all day. So, yeah, the pattern right now is occasional big moves followed by choppy, not much movement conditions. And those are those small candles that sometimes have big wicks or thin lines on either end. That means, it moved, but then it came back and it ended up close to the line. So those are ones we don't want. So we've had, I'd say in this session, I've had 3 markets that were like ideal, maybe 3 or 4. The rest have been not good, and really only got burned on a couple of them. The last one was the worst, and probably should have stuck to 6 contracts instead of going to 12. But I thought we might have a little pullback before a little bounce down. If I'm going to try to predict movement, which I try not to do, I'm going to look at the chart at these Bollinger Bands. Give you an example. Well, we got a couple examples on the chart. You see back here about, that must be 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, something like that. This big green candle goes above the line, the blue line on the top, or the upper Bollinger Band, and then immediately comes back the other way. These outer lines are meant to show where the market is going to tend to want to reverse or meet resistance and move sideways. And you can see that again here. This big red candle goes down to the bottom, touches the line, and then it's back the other way. We got happening here a little earlier, a big downtrend, and it kind of hugged the line for a while. So that's where you can get in trouble, where it touches the line here, but then it kind of continues along the side of the line before it bounces back. So it doesn't tell you exactly when it's going to happen. It just gives you a general idea. The market is either overbought or oversold at this moment relative to where the price has been. So you can expect a move in the other direction to happen at some point soon, you know. But a couple nights ago, I was up until 4 in the morning. I was trying to be done at like midnight. But the price was above the Bollinger Band. The RSI was above the line in the high 70s, 80s. It was like, well, all the indicators are that this has got to reverse imminently. It's got to happen next one or very soon. But it was a battle for like 2.5 hours where some entity was buying a ton of Bitcoin and kept buying and buying and buying, driving the price up and up and up and up and up. And it just was kind of ridiculous. And so the chart can give you some sense, but it does not predict the future. It does not tell you what's going to happen. Some rich guy somewhere in the world can just decide he wants to buy Bitcoin for the next 5 hours, and the price will just shoot up, you know, and you cannot prepare for that. There's no way to predict that, really. So, yeah, we're just trying to play probabilities and get a sense of where the market under normal conditions will move. But that's why we have a stop loss, because that it can all change in an instant. So you're looking for patterns, but in the end, you got to be in the present moment with what's happening and stick to your guns. All right, trading mode. Let's see if we can get a win.
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune. Chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sound ain't perfect, that's how it's mine. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Static sings the harmony. I couldn't ask for more. Let the porch light burn uneven, let the shadows play. Yeah, the porch light burn uneven, keep the night from drifting away. If this ain't heaven, it'll do for today. I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all we know. Whoa, I can't stay if you can't let it go. I never really know what's going on. And even when you're next to me, I feel like you were gone. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know.
So yeah, I was hoping for a little bit of a bounce to like 950 earlier on to just get in the 90s to get in. Never happened. Moved away, moved away. When it finally started moving back, it was too late. What I'm really happy about is, you know, the timing of things has just been a little off today. It's not great opportunities for me to make some money, but I'm being patient. I'm not forcing the issue. I'm not taking unnecessary risks. Um, it's not exciting. I'm kind of break even for the day. Let me see. I think it might be actually down like $1 or something like that. And it's just down $2.78. But for a really kind of poor session, which this was, it's fine. You know, I could have easily been down 40, 50, like just a rough session. But what I'm really happy about is I'm not forcing the issue here. I know this works when the conditions are right, and just slightly off here in this afternoon session. And you know, I'm at the point now where the major work I'm doing is sticking to the strategy regardless, no matter what. Whether I'm up, you know, 40% like I was yesterday, or I'm down 0.5% or 1% today. And my day's not done. It's you know, we got one more market for this session, and then we'll come back to it tonight. And hopefully the energy has shifted a little bit, and we'll be able to get some better conditions for this strategy. But it's real close. I mean, it's like just missing slightly, just off a little bit, and yeah, that can lead to a session that's pretty frustrating for me because I'm like, I'm ready, I'm doing everything I want to do, and it's just like not quite working. But that's okay. That's how this works. What I keep reminding myself is I've had sessions like this where I'm like trying to make it back. Oh, I lost one. I got to try to make it back. Got to make it back right away. Let's go big on this one. And then that's getting away from the strategy and opening yourself up for disaster. So I'm okay. This has not been a great, exciting, fun session to like trade, but that's okay. It just it happens. Sometimes the conditions are not quite right. But I think the big one, there's a number of things that I stick to that are hard to do for the strategy to work. One is just staying out of markets that are too close, based on the conditions that are currently happening. The other one is if you do end up getting in and it becomes too close, getting out at a small loss relative to what you had involved. And then probably the hardest one, and the one that like takes the most discipline and the most like work, is when you do lose, resisting the temptation to go big and make it up right away. Instead, you stick to the strategy, you wait, you know your time's going to come. It's just a matter of time for the regime to change. And when it does, then you can be involved. But yeah, there are days like this trading where it's like, yeah, you just kind of going nowhere, and it's important to be patient in those times. So that's what I keep reminding myself in these conditions is like, okay, I'm down 1%. It's not the end of the world, like a solid afternoon session, evening session. We can definitely get to break even for sure, and we can make some money still today. So being patient, taking what the current regime on the market gives you, and not forcing the issue when it's not there. These are hard things to do, and sometimes you become profitable in how you handle these conditions, and sticking to the strategy under the worst of conditions. If you can do that, your strategy becomes much more likely to be profitable because you're not putting unnecessary stress in bad conditions. So, yeah, this is not viral content, like this is how trading sometimes is. It just, if it's not there, the best thing to do is sit it out, not force the issue, not take a trade that like puts you in risk unnecessarily when the conditions are not right. So yeah, sometimes these are hard lessons, but I have found that like learning to take a good loss, learning to sit out markets, and learning to resist the urge to try to get it all back when you lose. These are hugely important for any trading strategy. And even though I'm 1% down on this session, I am super happy with myself as a trader, because this is a level of maturity as a trader that I am just developing, am just growing with. Is like, these things happen, and there was a moment a couple markets ago where there was like this strong temptation to like just get in at 100, and just get all that loss back right now. And it's like, no, dude, like that is where disaster is lurking, that mindset. Um, and I've learned that lesson already. I don't need to repeat that again. I don't need to learn lessons over and over again at this age in my life. Um, so yeah, I think what's challenging about these current conditions for my strategy is sometimes it's really close to the line, and sometimes it's like this, where it's already at 94% probability, and there's still 10 minutes to go. And so it's not 93.4 probability that it's going to finish on this side. So that means the price is inflated, and you got to wait because it comes back to you, or it doesn't, and you just sit out. So anyway, I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. This is the last market of the afternoon session. I'm going to say, when this market is done, I'm going to say it was a nice chat. It was nice hanging out. I'm looking forward to a fresh session this evening. Because even though I'm happy with myself and how I'm doing with the strategy, it's been rough. It's not great losing money. It doesn't feel great, Even if it is $3, it's like, oh, I worked hard for those $3. But like I said, learn to take a good loss, and I've done that really well in this session. So, all right, I'm going to go into silent mode and just focus on this a little bit earlier than usual, and we're going to wrap it up right after this.
Just one more time before we start the day. Easy with you. Yes, it's so easy with you. Lose track of time as we wander slowly. The afternoon comes and goes. The world could pause and we won't know.
Well, I'll keep an eye on this one, but it does seem like it has run away from my strategy for this one, and I just thought I'd come in and commiserate a little bit with. Well, hold on a second here. Let's see. 984, 50 away. Okay, it's fairly. Whoops, I don't want to do 99 shares. Who will do 12? And all right, we're in at 95 cents or so, and we'll do 99.9. So just hopefully we get a little 60-cent win to end this session. That'd be nice. My stop loss, I'm going to set 950. If it hits 65, 950 for the price, I'm out. Looking pretty good right now, but that's the number we're looking at. I'll get ready to do my stop loss in case I need to. But yeah, I mainly came in here to commiserate with Dank Dubs. yeah, my $3 loss on this session or $2 loss is nothing like losing big 791. Uh, I've been I've had big losses on this early on while I'm trying to learn how to do, learn a strategy and figure things out. So I know how that feels, and it's not good. So I'm here to kind of provide an alternative of slow and steady, and when you lose, it's manageable, and even the losses are pretty tolerable. So, but yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the CF benchmarks, the white box there, seeing if it gets to 65,950. And this one worked out okay. It gave me enough. It came back enough that it gave me some room to get in, and then moved away, and kind of is right now staying far enough away that I feel safe to hold the position. If it gets to 950, then I'm not feeling so safe. Able to make back 85. That's good. That's good. But yeah, we're doing kind of slow and steady based on the size of our bankroll over here with this strategy. Taking kind of sure wins, having the $1.50 wins stack up on top of each other, and avoiding unnecessary risk. So these conditions at this moment this is ideal. If we can get these kind of markets where they move away, they don't have the energy to get back to the strike point by the time the market ends. They get up to 99.1, and then they just have a hard time leaving that number. That's what I want as much as possible. And if I can get in at 90 cents, 85 sometimes, 85, 90, that's great. That's a big one for me. But most of the time I'm getting in at 95, scraping up 5 cents per contract of profit, and those add up. And if the conditions are right, there's a high probability of a win. So, 60 cents. Hey, we'll take it where we can get it. Not too bad. So the session ends up basically slight loss. But hey, we ended on a win, and we're moving into tonight with a little bit better energy. So thank you so much for all of you who have joined me for this afternoon live. I'll be back again at around 8 p.m. Pacific time, 8 or 9, somewhere in there. And I go for 6 hours to 8 hours a day, an afternoon session and an evening session. And I've got some videos up one I just did today that go into more detail about the strategy and all the tools and how to do it all. So if you want to check that out and leave some comments and likes and all that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much again for hanging out, and I will see you later on today.